Hello Anne, welcome to our reading session from the project Sed Jin Sed Çîrok. We are reading stories from Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls, and really we are getting famous because one radio channel from Denmark just interviewed Julia after her reading session, and the radio channel called P4. We are really happy for this. Today we are with Anne. Hello Anne.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting and hosting us in your beautiful place. And which story you choose for us today?
I chose the story of Jane Goodall, who was born in the UK in 1934. And I'll just start with a quote. Only if we understand will we care. Only if we care will we help. Only if we help shall all be saved. Once in England there was a girl called Jane who loved climbing trees and reading books. Her dream was to go to Africa and spend time with the wild animals there. So, one day, Jane flew to Tanzania with her notebook and binoculars, determined to study real chimpanzees in their natural environment. At first it was hard to get close to them. The chimpanzees would run away the moment she was in sight, but Jane kept visiting the place every day at the same time. Eventually the chimps allowed her to get closer. Getting closer was not enough for Jane. She wanted to become friends with them. So she started a banana club. Whenever she visited the chimpanzees, she would share bananas with them. At the time, little was known about chimpanzees. Some scientists used to observe them from far away using binoculars. Others studied chimps in cages. Jane, instead, spent hours hanging out with chimpanzees. She tried to speak to them using grunts and cries. She climbed trees and ate the same foods they did. She discovered that chimpanzees have rituals, that they use tools, and that their language comprises at least 20 different sounds. She even discovered that chimpanzees are not vegetarians. Once, Jane rescued an injured chimpanzee and nursed it back to health. When she released it back into the wild, the chimpanzee turned and gave her a long, loving hug, as if to say thanks and bye.
Thank you very much, Anne. Okay, Anne, can you shortly tell us what makes you choose this story to share with us?
When I went through the book, what really popped into my eyes was the image, especially this woman sitting in a deep embrace with this chimpanzee, kind of like animal human in deep embrace. And then the second was then, of course, that I suddenly realized also that actually this Jane Goodall, without even knowing this when I chose this story, I actually have a book with her and I listened to lectures from her and have actually already for some time been very inspired by this woman, but somehow it was just lost somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then you found it somewhere.
Yeah, and then it makes sense because of many of the things she shares and many of the things that she believes in, mm-hmm. concerning human nature, animal, how we should live together, mm-hmm. All in harmony, or
yeah. Is there any connection with your own story?
For sure, when I just ran through the first words of the story, it was the word Africa popped into my eyes, because I wrote my master thesis myself, about a place in Nigeria, a sacred grove, and I also traveled to Nigeria, and I'm very fascinated by this Orisha religion, like a nature religion. And this dream of going to Africa, or this attraction to this different culture and different belief systems, in a way, I could somehow see myself a little bit in this also. So I guess it's somehow connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And can you tell about you a little bit more?
About me.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Now we know that you wrote a master thesis, and
I guess I'm. Who am I? I'm a person deeply interested in things we don't necessarily see, mm-hmm. and in what I would call the more intuitive and what people would maybe call the superstitious parts of life that I feel have been very neglected in a Western dominated society. For me, this has been in the shape of the feminine as rivers and goddesses.
Yeah, I see a connection with the book and your story, and I am also inspired actually by you when I ask the question of who you are. And mostly people say, oh, I'm from here, I'm from there, and this is my story, and you just somehow choose a very beautiful description of who you are. Like I am somehow believing, inspiring, and this and that. It's like not a general terms how somehow people say about themselves after the question of who you are.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I don't know. I personally, my passion, I guess, is this. What we have to learn to think like again. That we lost a lot of things that we can now look to other cultures and other belief systems and other, you know, thought patterns, and we can learn from these places things that we actually knew ourselves, but it has just been pushed away. Mm-hmm. So especially with this woman like Jane Goodall, it was very much about like how do we protect this, what she calls like web of life, like biodiversity. How do we live in this world, and why is there still hope? And I think writing like or being a researcher, scientist like her, or contributing in whatever kind of way, like there is hope, you know, mm-hmm. For us. Yeah.
I feel like that you are taking a bit holistic approach towards life with the nature, river. You said goddesses, and you said, yeah, somehow.
Yeah, definitely. Like the idea that it's all connected, and it's all divine. Mm-hmm. We are all part of the same. And as long as we throw plastic in the rivers, what does this symbolize? When rivers are often connected to goddesses, like what does this symbolize? You know, like if we look at that action, and this is for me really, really fascinating. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anna, to be the part of the project and to make us part of your biodiversity
fight
life and pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pumpkin fight.